you ever wondered how a piece of paper can hold so much power? Why people go out every day in search of it? How would it make you feel if I told you that money isn't real and that the system that's been built to keep you and me chasing it is built on an actual lie?
Hey yo, what the fuck?
Money is just a physical representation of value. It's what you owe to somebody else or what they owe to you when any type of value is exchanged. This could be 8 hours a day and 5 days a week of hard work, or this could be a product or service. I know you're thinking, but hey, I use money every day. Of course it's real. That may be true when you're at the bottom of the pecking order, but for the sharks of this world, money is just debt, and debt is used to create generational wealth. A few years ago, I was broke, couldn't make ends meet, and it got me thinking about money and what it actually is. So I went looking for answers. I watched videos, I read so many books on money, so many. And I finally came across the answer of what is money. So I learned that back in the day, yes, back in the day, we used to trade in gold and silver. If you wanted to go down to your local village and buy some vegetables or rice, you would take your silver and gold and go down and buy it. But because this is a trash world and it has a lot of trash people in it, people were constantly being robbed for their money. So a group of people came together and they created a place where people could save their silver and gold. These were known as safe houses. So if you needed to spend your silver and gold, you would head down to the safe house with your little note saying how much you had. You would give it in. They would then give you however much you wanted to spend. You would take it away and you would buy whatever you want to buy.
Nah, I never knew that.
Now, eventually, these safe houses figured, hey, why don't we just give them a credit slip, which was a slip saying how much they had in the safe house, instead of actually giving them the silver and gold. And that's what happened. So eventually, everyone just started using credit slips. And then, of course, the group of people who ran these safe houses thought, hey, we're sat on all this silver and gold.
I just had an idea.
They decided to start loaning out the gold and silver that they were sat on and charging interest on it. And so you have the first more or less stable organization that today is known as a bank. Now, this is the origin of money. These little credit slips have eventually become banknotes, and these are a representation of the value that you hold. The same as the number that's in your bank account right now. That number, that figure, that debt is a value of what you are worth as an individual. And speaking on value, if you can take anything away from this video, it goes a long way for you to subscribe to the channel, like this video, and slap the notifications on for more gems like this every single week. So I took a long walk with the realization that money is just credit, which is essentially just a form of debt. So I wondered, if money is debt, how can some people live so large while others live so poor? So I realized that rich people must be able to use debt to their advantage in some way. And that was it. That was the answer. I just didn't know how they did it. What did they know that I didn't? So I went and found out after hours of researching the richest people in our societies and the amazing way that they've built their fortunes. I finally came to the answer. And it was that if money is debt and debt is value, then I must find a way to take some debt from one place and put it into something else that can provide me with more value than my original line of debt. And that was the answer, an asset.
God damn it, Gump! You're a goddamn genius.
So if you don't know what an asset is an item of property. So whether this is a house or a watch or a car even, anything that holds or grows in value over time. Now, the main reason that we're talking about assets when it comes to debt is because this is what the rich have understood, that you can use debt to buy assets that in turn will grow your wealth tremendously.
This is making insanely good sense to me.
For example, if you were to borrow, say, 150 grand from the bank to buy a house, and then you rented each room out for a monthly fee, the income that you generated from renting those rooms would not only cover the original debt that you owed to the bank, but you would also have some money on top. Now, this is what's called an asset because it is generating you income every single month, and it is also covering the original amount of debt that you have.
That's crazy.
Now, from what I understood, Rich people were using this technique on a 10x level. They were borrowing millions and millions from the banks and buying assets worth crazy amounts of money. And so the income that they were generating was also 10x and was also a crazy amount of money as well. And this was how they was building so much wealth. But there was still one problem. How do I become super rich when I have no money? It felt like I was back at square one again, that famous saying playing in my mind, you need money to make money. But that's simply not true. I now knew that all I needed was access to a line of credit and not actual money. But I was still stuck with a problem. I didn't want to get into any more debt. And then it hit me. The debt that we get nervous and anxious about all the time, that's bad debt. What I needed was some good debt.
Oh, damn.
So I began looking at all my options, and lucky for me, I was never too bad with money and my decisions weren't too detrimental, so I had an okay credit score. But if your credit score has been tarnished or it's not up to scratch, don't worry. If you click the link in the description below, I have an academy where I teach people how to build up their credit scores, how to build up their financial profiles, and really make the most of their money and finances, including numerous ways on how to manage, grow, and invest your money. So I thought to myself, what's the best investment I can make that will help me use debt to my advantage? And the answer was simple: myself. If I could use debt to buy myself more skills and more knowledge, I could actually 10, 20, even 100x my earnings potential and far outweigh the amount of interest on the debt that I use to buy those skills and knowledge. Of course, there are numerous things you can do and numerous ways you can use debt to your advantage. Whether you want to go into real estate, crypto, stocks, business acquisition, it really just depends on you and what you want from life. Think of it like this. If you never take the risk, it will never happen. So my plan was simple, but of course there was a risk. But at the end of the day, that is what separates those that succeed from those that fail. They never take the leap and try. The key thing to remember is that money is only a concept and it is just a representation of the value that you hold. That debt can be crushing, but it can also separate you from the other 99% of the people in the world. And that's why the 1% live so well. They understand that debt is how you break free.